Hi, this is Mrs. Kidman, and in this video, we're going to be discussing the difference between independent events and dependent events. Now, independent and dependent events are really important because depending on their relationship, we calculate the probability a different way. So independent events are two events that don't affect each other. So for example, think of flipping a coin. If I flip a coin once, and then I get heads, and then I go to flip it again. Does the fact that I got heads last time affect what is going to happen this next time? No, it doesn't. I still have a 50-50 shot of getting heads. Those are independent events because they don't rely on each other. However, dependent events are events that do affect one another. So for example, if I were drawing a card from a deck and I drew one card and I looked at it and I got a spade and I set that spade aside and I went to draw another one. Now this second card that I draw is affected by what card I drew before. If I was trying to get all spades, or I was playing phase 10 and I was trying to get all 6 of the same color, if I drew a blue one, that affects my chance of drawing another blue one because there's one less blue one in the stack. And those are dependent events because what happens to one affects what happens to the other. So in this first video, we are just going to look at and compare whether or not events are independent or dependent. When we have two different events that are independent or dependent, we then have to calculate the probabilities differently. Those calculations will be done in the next video. So first, let's take a look at this example. So students are taking a quiz randomly, and they randomly guess on the answers to 4 true-false questions. Is guessing question 1 correctly and guessing question 2 correctly independent events? Okay, think of it this way. It's a true-false question. The answer is either true or false. I have no idea, so I'm just going to pick one. It's just like flipping a coin. I flip a coin. Oh, heads is true, tails is false. Flip a coin. I get true. Okay, or I pick. I say it's true. Now, just question number 2, if I'm randomly guessing or flipping a coin to make that decision, is the options for question 2 or the answer or guessing on question 2 going to be affected by what I guessed on number 1? No, as long as they're random. So with those being random, these are actually independent events because what I guessed on number 1 didn't matter. It didn't affect what I guessed on number 2 because they were random guesses. If I was making educated guesses, then they would be dependent on one another. Let's take a look at the next one. So a group of 4 students includes 1 boy and 3 girls. The teacher randomly selects one of the students to be the speaker and a different student to be the recorder. Are randomly selecting a girl first and randomly selecting a girl second independent events? Well, let's think about this. They have to be different students. So once I pick one student to be the speaker, then all of a sudden my pool of students has changed. Instead of having 4 students to choose from, now I have 3. If I choose a girl the first time, what's going to happen is now there's 1 less girl to choose from. There is also 1 less student, but the chance of me getting that changes. So these are actually going to be dependent events because they affect one another. Who I pick first affects what happens next. Now, let's take a look at this next one. We're not going to find the probability yet. We'll do that in the next video. But as a part of a board game, you have to spin the spinner, which is divided into 8 equal parts. I want to know, is spinning the spinner twice independent or dependent? So the first time I spin the spinner, well, is that independent or dependent? Well, it doesn't matter. I spin it, it's good. The next time I spin it, does that affect what happens? No, it doesn't. Because spinning the spinner is independent from one spin to the next, we can find the probability based on the independent method. We don't have to look at something different. So in the next video, we're going to talk about if they are independent or dependent, how we can calculate those probabilities. So please check out the next video to see how we do that.